Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at more malicious compliance stories. Yeah, let's just get right into the video. Maybe 10 years ago, I worked in tech support for a large cell phone company. Depending on the shift, we had vastly different ratios of male versus female employees. Anyhow, there was one shift where most of the floor managers, as well as the shift manager for the entire office, were women. I had only been working that shift a couple weeks, but knew we weren't supposed to escalate, transfer to a manager, unless it was really unavoidable. I get this caller who will not let me finish sentences, keeps interrupting me. Eventually, he demands a manager. I reluctantly transfer him and go on with my shift. Next day, Linda, the supervisor who took that call, comes to my desk and says, I need to talk about the escalation last night. I'm thinking I'm in trouble. Turns out dude kept asking for higher supervisors and getting transferred all over the office, always to women. Finally, he loses it and goes, don't any men work there? Cue Paul. Paul was a wonderful, gentle guy who was also very gay. He takes over the call and in the most effeminate way possible says, Hi sweetie, this is Paul, can I help? Dude immediately hung up. Dang. It's so funny how that guy would actually waste all of that time just to try to get a man to solve his problem. The employees wouldn't be working there in the first place if they can't do anything. So crazy how he thinks only a guy can solve his problems. Oh my goodness. Years ago, I was in a bad car accident. An older man turned left in front of me at an intersection and T-boned me. Ambulances were called. I was put on a backboard with a neck brace and brought to the hospital where I was deposited on the gurney in a hallway as there were no rooms available at that time. I lay there for quite a while waiting to be seen. My injuries weren't bad, basically just got banged around and bruised up, so I was okay with the waiting. But I was in pain and laying on my back was very uncomfortable. I didn't think there was anything wrong with my neck. The only pain I felt was due to the damn neck brace digging into the bottom of my skull, and I really wanted to lay in a different position. Not only to alleviate some of the pain in the rest of my body, hopefully, but also because I was parked right under a light that was blaring in my eyes the whole time. So I started taking off my neck brace. A nurse spotted me doing this and ran over very upset with me and told me I had to keep the neck brace on. I tried telling her my neck was fine, but she was adamant that I not remove the brace until the doctor had examined me, which I get. I'm guessing at the very least it goes very much against protocol, and at the very worst it would have been a huge liability if I took the brace off and there was something wrong. Plus, I didn't want to piss off the nurse or be one of those patients, so I begrudgingly complied even though I thought it was overkill. I tried to reposition myself as best as I could to the least painful position, not very successfully unfortunately. However, the damn light blaring directly down was driving me crazy, even when I closed my eyes. Finally, out of frustration, I took the blanket that was over me, put it up more and threw it over my head. Finally, no more light in my eyes. Bliss. I just lay there trying to block the pain and daydream to pass the time, wondering how long I would be there for. Not too long after, I hear what sounds like a bit of a commotion and someone saying something about a dead person in the hallway. I was like, oh my god, that's freaky. I got that there were no rooms available, but to leave a dead body just laying around for everyone to see, I thought that was uber creepy. Suddenly, the same nurse pulls the blanket off my head, scaring me, and she starts yelling at me that I'm not allowed to put the blanket over my head, and what was I doing? It was then that I realized the dead body they were talking about was me. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I just wanted the light out of my eyes and I can't move my head with the neck brace on. To say the nurse was not impressed would be an understatement, but she did find a room to move me and positioned me not under any light, which I thanked her very much for. She just gave me a surly look and walked away. Wow. Bro, what if they actually thought they were dead and just brought them somewhere else? Like, that's also one of my fears. Like, someone just thinking you're dead when you're not dead. A local man wanted to run his print campaign advertisements for elected office. He'd done this a few times before in a number of unsuccessful bids for election. Now, he had returned and was giving us an earful. The only reason I lost the last time was because all my ads got changed and looked stupid. We had changed his ad with us slightly. He'd misspelled the name of the office he had been running for, so we had corrected it. Apparently, that made the ad look differently than he wanted and had somehow cost him the election. He's just looking for excuses to blame someone else. I'm paying you for these ads, so this time I demand you print it exactly as I wrote it. No changes. He stormed off, and I figured the issue was over. Made my job easy. I thought there was no need to proofread this. Just send it over to our advertising person, but let me look at it anyway. I read it over and told others, and it wasn't long before the whole office had a good laugh. His advertisement read, his name for elected office, always there for you to help. Please elect for me, because I will always be there for you to help. I need so much freaking help in my life. Yeah. What makes it even better is we later learned he had apparently made a similar speech and demand at the offices of other newspapers where he ran the advertising as well, so they all had the same wording. He lost the election. Again, he did not, however, complain about his advertisement this time. Jeez, honestly, if you don't even know your punctuations, yeah. We had a new problematic employee start at work and I was told to share the password for a specific tool with him. He had been a PITA? P-I-T-A? What's a PITA? And I had been warned about him by a friend who had been his boss at his last place of employment, so I wasn't inclined to make things easy for him. After I was officially told to share, he came over to me and requested the password. Being a helpful employee, I gave it to him. He then asked for it again. I then repeated myself and told him it's obscene. He walked away grumbling and went to our manager and complained. She, my manager, then called me in and asked me for the password. I, of course, gave it to her. It's obscene. She then looked at me and shook her head while hiding a subtle smile. She then asked him if he had tried my answer. He said, of course not. He refused to give it to me, saying that it was obscene. She then looked straight at him and said to end the actual word obscene. It goes without saying that he and I never became friends. Dude, the person who freaking made that password obscene is trolling. This reminds me of the old meme where someone's like, what does IDK mean? And the person's like, I don't know. So I'm at a theme park and I'm a full-time wheelchair user who cannot walk or stand. So one of the rides is in a building and has an area outside the entrance for push chairs and those strollers people bring to theme parks that pull all of the stuff and older kids, etc. about to be left there as they aren't allowed in the building. My friend and I head to the entrance and this young employee comes to me and says, you have to leave your wheelchair here. I look at him and my friend is about to say something and I catch the eye and wink. I wheel over to the area and sit there with my brakes on. My friend cottons on and comes and stands next to me. The worker comes over and says, you can go in now, seeing me not moving. I replied, but you told me to put my wheelchair here? He, not seeing what is happening, replies, yes, so you need to leave it here and then you go in and get it after. I asked him how that would work and he sort of blinks at me confused and then walks over to a guest who has asked for help. Another worker, older, who has like team leader or supervisor type phasing on his badge comes over. The guy who has told me to sit there is still talking to another guest and the older worker comes over and asks if I'm okay. I explained that the guy had told me to sit here in my chair and so I did. And then he told me to head into the ride but leaving my chair here and how I'm confused as I can't walk or stand. This worker is mortified and tells me this is obviously not the park rules and how no one is asked to leave their wheelchair there if they don't want to and how I'm allowed in with my chair. The first worker comes over and the supervisor asks him what he's on about and how he can't tell a wheelchair user to do this. The younger guy said he was told to tell people they could leave their wheelchairs there and we work out he has gotten him wires crossed and that some people will ask if they can leave their wheelchairs there who are ambulatory and use them for when they get tired and that's fine, but not to tell everyone in the wheelchair to leave the chairs there. The guy realizes his mistake and then realizes what I'd said about how I'm supposed to go in since I can't stand or walk and what he has implied, etc. and is mortified, apologizing over and over. I explained how it's okay and I'm glad he realized what he said wasn't okay, but I can see how he gotten confused and turns out he's very new. I head onto the ride and as I exit, the supervisor comes over and refunds us our park entry tickets and has food and shop vouchers for myself and my friend. I explain how they didn't need to do this and how I'm just glad the new guy found out his misunderstanding with me, who found it funny and had a bit of fun over someone else, who took offense and got angry, etc. Which I guess is why I got the free stuff. Oh, that's actually very nice that this person didn't get angry. And you know, they were very chill with everything. Because I feel like some people would definitely get angry. They would be like, don't you see me in the wheelchair? No, but seriously, at least this one was a nice one. I feel like that younger guy is so relatable because sometimes people just blank out. You know, they work there and they do repetitive stuff for so long. That's just all they remember. You can leave it there and you can go in. You can leave it there and you can go in. I'm assuming that's what he does like every single day, right? And then you can leave your wheelchair there and you can go in. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!